Welcome to the Unmistakably Magic Podcast. I'm RJ.
And I'm Court.
We are two lifelong fans of Disney parks and all theme parks.
Each week, we bring you the latest news from Disney parks and beyond.
That's right. This is episode number 1. Well, Court, let's start with the news. What do you got this week?
Well, this week, we have some exciting openings over at Disney Springs, including Frontera Cocina by Rick Bayless.
Nice.
It's a new restaurant that opened at Disney Springs this week. Mexican food. Pretty
Obviously,
good.
Rick
Yeah.
is kind of famous for that.
Yeah.
Be honest, I had to Google him, and then as soon as I saw his face, I was like, oh, wait, that guy.
Oh, that guy.
The,
Yeah.
the fresh Mexican food guy.
Yeah. Over in Hollywood Studios, actually, D23 just announced that it'll host a Twilight Zone Tower of Terror After Hours event. This is a pretty cool event here. You can enjoy an exclusive after-hours, behind-the-scenes discussion of the legendary attraction, and then you get to ride Tower of Terror when the clock strikes midnight. There will be themed food, beverages, and entertainment with special photo op inside the hotel with a special guest directly from the Twilight Zone. It's only available to Gold D23 members and will take place on October 5th, only in Hollywood Studios.
That would be really cool.
I think it's pretty cool.
I can imagine laying down the streets of Hollywood at night.
Oh man, it's
At midnight, there's probably no one else in the park because it's an exclusive event, and everyone's in the Tower of Terror with you.
yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
So if you just hopped on your ride and then just started walking out the park right there, you'd have a max of like 30 people with you.
Yeah,
Which it's always fun closing out a park like that.
it is. Yeah,
I want to know who the special guest is from the Twilight Zone.
I imagine it's probably gonna be one of the characters, right, from the little story.
Yeah.
Or is it just a bellhop?
That's true.
Bellhop would be kind of cheesy. I think.
Yeah,
I think it'd be a
bit.
little cheesy to just throw a bellhop in there because they're all over the place. But
I think they do something a little better than that. I think they would.
like one of the characters from the
Yeah.
from the movie, quote unquote.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Over in Epcot for the Food and Wine Festival 2016, new experiences and celebrity chefs will be joining the lineup this year. New chefs like Duff Goldman, Elliot Farmer, and Graham Elliott, amongst others, are coming. A few returning favorites include Buddy Valestro, Jamie Dean, and many more, including ABC's The Chew, which that's always exciting.
Yeah, that is.
I mean, big
Did
fan favorite.
they film at the Chew while
Yeah,
they're
they do.
there? That's right.
Yeah, they're going to be filming it for a week. A week of The Chew is going to be filmed at Epcot Food and Wine this year.
That's really cool.
And for the first time ever, the Food and Wine Festival will expand beyond Epcot.
Really?
Wow.
Wow.
It'll have events like Brunch with a Twist at the Grand Floridian, Culinary Adventures with a Master Chef at the Contemporary, and Behind the Scenes at Trader Sam's Grotto at the Polynesian. There are also 39 new or reimagined market plate dishes and 47 new cocktails.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're really cocking it up.
It's really bringing it up with the beverages there.
I can't believe that they're taking it out of Epcot. I mean, that's really cool.
Oh yeah,
That's just really unique that it's supposed to be an Epcot centric event.
Yeah,
But now they're taking it out of the park. I mean, it makes sense because everybody who's there is
It's
predominantly there for that.
Yeah. And I mean, it makes sense that they're bringing it to those 3 hotels as well.
Yeah. I mean, they're on the monorail loop. They're
They're the deluxe
the
hotels.
deluxe hotels.
They're where most of the people who come out of town, very far out of town, to the Food and Wine just for the Food and Wine that will stay.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Sticking with food, Disney has announced this week that refillable popcorn buckets are coming to Walt Disney World. These are similar to Disneyland's annual pass holder refillable buckets. However, any guest can purchase them at Disney World, which always a plus. The bucket will be available between June 26th and September 1st at all 4 theme parks, the 2 water parks, Disney Springs, and the Wide World of Sports. The bucket will cost $10, with refills costing $1.50 each at any location selling freshly popped popcorn.
That's actually a really good deal.
Because
a $10 bucket of popcorn is about what it is normally.
Yeah, it's like $8.90 something.
And if you get any kind of souvenir bucket, which I made the mistake of doing that once, and then I had nothing to do with my souvenir bucket the rest of the day, and I was like, why did I buy this? And it was an R2-D2. I'm like, why did I buy this? I'm going to have to carry around an R2-D2 the whole day? But $10, that's pretty good. That's pretty. If you're really into the popcorn, which it is good popcorn.
Oh yeah, I mean it's gluten free, so I know a lot of people that I know really just go for that as their go to, even for meals. That's what they go for.
I mean, That's a really good deal for $1.50.
Oh yeah.
Although my question still is, if you have the bucket, is it literally done at September 1st? Like they're like, nope, sorry, that bucket is done. September 2nd comes around, they're like, nope, popcorn's done.
No can do. September 1st at midnight. No more.
Yeah.
Extended magic hours.
Extended magic hours for your
Kingdom.
popcorn bucket. That's right.
Epcot has added a few more. Speaking of extended magic hours, extra magic hours. Sorry, Epcot has added a few more attractions to its extra magic hours lineup. The Seas with Nemo and Friends, Turtle Talk with Crush, and Sea Base have all been added over in Future World. So basically, the Seas Pavilion.
Yeah, that's interesting how they listed out. Like
I mean, they are technically
separate.
attractions.
Yeah, because you could just walk into the seas.
I mean, through the exit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And over in World Showcase, big one here, Frozen Ever After and the Royal Summer House.
I couldn't imagine that they wouldn't do that.
Oh my gosh. No, there is no way that they wouldn't have done this.
The fact that they already have 5-hour queues.
Oh, it's unreal.
At this point, they're going to have to do that just to keep people happy.
Even happy or even just tolerable.
I couldn't imagine that they wouldn't have done that, but
think-
that makes sense.
I think this and Radiator Springs Racers are the only two attractions that I've seen where Disney has been handing out water bottles to people in line.
I mean, it makes sense. At some point, you have to consider liability of you're not forcing these people to stand in line.
Oh, yeah.
However, your lines are forcing these people to be there for 5 to 6 hours or more.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to try to take care of these people, and it's just a customer service thing. But at the same time, I agree. It is. I was flabbergasted when I saw that.
Man,
I was
it's ridiculous. And I think they've had the Vikings out entertaining people in line every day since they've opened up.
wow. I mean, you got to do something because that's a long line.
It's crazy. Keeping with rides, Kali River Rapids over in Animal Kingdom has finally begun testing a single rider option.
That again. Come on, Disney.
It's about time.
You're literally talking about a ride vehicle that has a weird number of seats.
It's got 8 in it.
8
people.
Okay, so you have a group of 5 and a group of 4. They can't go together, so you have to split them up. So all of a sudden you have a half empty and a half empty.
Yeah.
Single rider is the great. I mean, you got to have single rider.
You need it for this ride. I'm astounded they didn't do it opening day, because over at California Adventure, at Grizzly River Run, they've been doing that since at least since they reopened California Adventure this 2 years ago when they opened Cars Land. Two or 3 years ago. Yeah, they've been doing it since then. Maybe since opening day. I don't know. I'll have to double check on that. But
yeah, what?
And I've used that system so many times.
Well, especially we just talked about Radiator Springs Racers. That's the perfect example. I mean, again, you have 3 seats and 3 seats.
Yeah.
Okay, unless you're a family of 6, you can't fill up a ride vehicle.
No, you're not going to.
So now you have empty seats. Why not utilize them with people that are riding by themselves or willing to ride by themselves? Because I've done it a lot of times with my wife or with you when we went.
Yeah.
That okay, let's just go ride single rider. Why wait in the 4-hour line when we can just wait in a 20-minute line and get it done?
And 9 times out of 10,
you end up in the same vehicle.
End up in the same vehicle,
but you might
one person in front.
Yeah,
yeah, one person in front of the other.
Well, it's good that they're doing more of that.
I mean, it's always even just helping with crowds. It's always good. Universal Orlando has submitted plans for a 6th hotel. The hotel will sit along Adventure Way and will host 600 rooms in a single tower, which will be connected to a parking garage. Which this kind of came to a shock to me, or as a shock to me.
Why?
Because I mean, there's 2 parks over there.
That's true. So you have 6 hotels.
You
for 2
already
parks.
have 5 hotels. Granted, the new water park that they announced
at Volcano Bay.
Yeah. They're selling that as their 3rd theme park.
I know. I noticed how they were saying that. And I'm like, I wanted to go back in time and say, did Disney try to pitch Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon as parks, or did they just say, hey, they're a side attraction?
Yeah, because that's what they really are. Let's be honest.
Because they're not. I mean, now granted, what I've seen of the artwork from Volcano Bay.
Oh, it looks
like a park.
It definitely looks like a full day there.
Yeah. Or Typhoon Lagoon, Blizzard Beach. You can do a full day because it's a water park and you can sit and chill. But
sit and relax in the lazy river for half your day.
But in terms of number of rides,
No.
It's not a full day.
No, not at all.
No.
It's kind of like how Animal Kingdom was when it first opened up in that aspect of
Yeah, absolutely.
It
So
has,
I'll be interested to see if Volcano Bay has a number of attractions that makes it a full day park.
Yeah, yeah. Which, I mean, I hope it does. It means more to do, more things to experience. Which, I mean, I'm all for just progress within the theme park industry.
Absolutely.
Any progress is good progress.
Plus, that artwork looked pretty awesome. That volcano looked legit.
It looked beautiful.
Like, I want to go on that volcano and just look around. I mean,
yeah. And I mean, with that volcano, they announced, what was it, 6 slides coming off of it.
Yeah.
And then one main attraction within it. That's a secret right now.
I mean, that's how huge that thing is.
Yeah, it's giant. Which I kind of think that main attraction is going to be a journey to the center of the earth type attraction.
I could see that.
That's me.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Sticking with Universal, but switching coasts over to California, Universal Hollywood has soft opened its Walking Dead attraction this week. This is a walkthrough attraction that immerses guests in the post-apocalyptic world of AMC's The Walking Dead. The attraction is set to open on July 4th.
Hey, that's soon.
Yeah.
I saw some video of this, some preview video.
Yeah.
It looks pretty good. My only question is, how many people do they have to pay to play zombies for this thing?
Yeah.
Because at least the preview one, there were like 2 people deep on this fence for like 20 feet of just people pretending to be zombies.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, how many people are we employing here just to be zombies?
If they want to spend the money to do that, I think it's well worth it. I think it's money well spent because you get a new experience every time. Because people aren't true. I mean, people are creatures of habit, so I mean, typically they're gonna do.
And I'm sure they're told, hey, you're in this area, you're supposed to lunge from here or whatever. But yeah.
But I mean,
it's gonna be different all the time.
It's gonna be slightly different every time, at a minimum. But I mean, I think it's pretty cool.
No, it did look really good.
It's definitely.
My only thought seriously was though, like, how many people are working that thing?
I don't know. It was all over their Twitter feed for, I think, a week or two, of, hey, we're hiring zombies. Come audition to be a zombie.
What's a zombie audition? Hey, can you look brainless? Okay, you're hired. Yeah, we're good. Okay. Previous employment? Oh, perfect. Yep, you're good.
There you go. Perfect.
You're in.
Let's bring it. Sheesh. Sticking at Universal Hollywood, a new expansion on the lower lot is in the works. This will include new sound stages for the studio, as well as an expansion to the theme park, which will include a new unknown attraction.
Very mysterious.
Now, this comes off of a 5-year expansion over at Universal Hollywood.
Yeah, including the new Harry Potter world, or Harry Potter Land.
It culminated in that. Yeah. It started out with Transformers The Ride 3D, which that was a phenomenal hit. Everybody loved that. Everybody and their mother loved that.
That's true.
I mean, what was it? The next year, they built one in Japan, and then the year after that, they brought one to Orlando.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they built 3 of those rides in 3 years.
That is a hit then.
Unheard of. That's crazy.
The funny thing is that means they were planning on it being a hit because they were. You don't do that in a year in reality.
Yeah.
So they knew this was going to be a hit. I mean, they could have backed out if it wasn't.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they were planning.
They were expecting it to be pretty good, which it is a good ride. So it started with that, and then it brought over Despicable Me, Minion Mayhem, and the whole Despicable Me Land area.
Yeah.
And then it brought over the Simpsons area.
Which is pretty cool.
Which is way better over there than it is over at Universal Orlando, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I was pretty impressed with Universal Orlando.
See, it's basically Universal Orlando, but with more.
Oh.
So it's got everything Orlando has.
That's surprising because Orlando has, like, not a limited amount of space, but they've got more space.
They have significantly more space over there.
So there's no reason that Orlando shouldn't be the one to get more, but makes sense.
But, I mean, because they have the nuclear power plant over there.
What?
Where Homer works, and...
See, I was just impressed with I could have just taken a Quickie Mart. I was good with that.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, cool, and I could buy Duff? All right, I'm in.
Yeah. Lard Lad's right there. And
and then Cletus's Chicken Shack.
It is set up a little differently over there, though.
Is it?
Yeah, so it's not the same kind of like row of shops and stores, and they're not in the same spot.
Oh, okay.
But there is more over there, and it is, in my opinion, a little bit better.
I can see that.
I think they got the better.
I was pretty impressed with it in general, but I can see how
Yeah.
better layout and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So then that 5-year expansion ended this past year with the opening of Hogsmeade. Hogsmeade and Hogwarts, which
Yeah.
I mean, there's rumors floating around that they're going to put in.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if this
Diagon Alley.
unnamed attraction that's in the
Well, it's in the lower lot. So if you've ever been to Universal Hollywood,
years and years ago, yeah.
yeah, you have the lower lot, which has, I think it's just Jurassic Park, The Mummy, and Transformers right now.
Okay.
And then you go up to the upper lot, and that has everything else. It has Simpsons. It has Harry Potter now.
Okay.
It has.
Well, I mean, so upper to lower, then they could put a train in.
That'd be
theoretically.
a very steep train.
Mummy's getting a little old.
But that attraction is so good.
I know, but Mummy's
It
getting a
is.
little old. You could boot it out, put a little Diagon Alley action,
You probably
put a little
could.
Gringotts action.
Yeah. I mean,
If
if they're gonna do it, that'd probably be the way to put in Diagon Alley.
I guess you're right about the train though. Picturing it now in my head, I'm like, yeah, that would be a little.
Yeah.
It'd be more like a
I mean,
cog rail or whatever. Like Magic Mountain's little train up the hill.
Their tram.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
it kind of would work. I guess.
Yeah. Sticking on the West Coast over at Disneyland, a new Star Wars pressed coins have made their debut. These aren't pennies; they're coins. Designs
not
include
the penny machine. Oh,
no.
I was picturing that in my head.
I mean, it's the same type of machine. You just stick in 4 quarters instead of like 50 cents
50
and then
cents
a penny.
and a penny.
Yeah. But designs include Rey, Chewbacca, and the Resistance symbol. And over on the dark side, Kylo Ren, Captain Phasma, and the First Order symbol can be created for $1 each. I've actually seen these machines. They don't look like normal pressing machines.
They don't like the hand crank, like
No.
gears. You can see it all happening.
I mean, it has all of that, but it also has some really cool lighting effects in it and a really cool like Star Wars background in the back that it just takes it to the next level. I think it's pretty cool.
I can see that.
Yeah. And our final bit of news takes us out of the parks for a bit, but Wreck-It Ralph is getting a sequel. Director Rick Moore announced this week that Wreck-It Ralph 2 has been in the works basically since the release of the first film back in 2012. The only plot point that we have at this time is that Ralph's wrecking wreaks havoc on the web. The film is set to be released on March 9th, 2018, with returning casts. I know the guy who voiced Ralph and the girl who voiced Vanellope von Schweetz is.
Oh yeah, Sarah Silverman.
Yeah,
I can't remember the guy.
I can't remember the guy's name either.
But yeah,
But I mean, they're coming back, which I really liked the first one.
it was really good.
It was a fantastic.
I loved how they incorporated all the different video games.
Oh man,
I couldn't imagine what they had to go through to get all those companies on board to
my
be
gosh.
in the same movie with it. You know, you have
Yeah.
literally Mario with
with Sonic.
Sega
Yeah.
and and Sonic and all these other. I'm like,
Which I mean, Mario wasn't in that first movie, but they had Bowser in it.
yeah. I mean, they had Nintendo property, and
Yeah.
they had Sega property, and
Yeah.
they had all these other Atari property, and it's like,
Yeah,
how much did you have to? How many legal departments were involved in this movie?
yeah. But there was an interview that I read or saw where the director actually wants to put Mario in this new one.
That'd be kind of cool to incorporate Mario.
I think he wants it in there as a main character too, which would be really cool.
Wow, I wonder if Nintendo will be on board for that.
I mean, Nintendo isn't afraid of signing deals with Universal.
But that's what makes me think: are they willing to
That's
sign?
true.
They might have some deals that might exclude that.
See, but they have theme park deals with Universal, and so they might do some movie deals with Disney. It's 2 different entities.
Getting all in the Marvel world like this too. Well, yeah, Universal's got the Marvel over here, but Disney's got the Marvel over here.
What does this all mean?
Who? That's what?
I still need to. It's that.
I want to see an infograph. That's what I want to see. I want to see an infograph that says, "This is what Universal has the rights to. This is what Disney has the rights to. This is what is Marvel Studios versus just Marvel."
Yeah.
And then who's making money off who and whatnot.
Oh man,
I can't imagine the mess that is.
that must have been
Talk about legal departments.
hoops to jump through. Absolutely insane. All right, well that just about does it for the news this week.
All right.
Let's move on to our main topic.
All right. Well, since this is episode number 1, we thought it would be important for you guys out there in podcast land to get to know us. Get to know kind of our history with the parks, where our passion for the parks comes from. And I think one of the things we're going to talk about is probably our favorite park memory.
Yeah.
I think that kind of gives you an insight to our world. What
we like the most about the parks.
Absolutely.
What we go to the parks for. Because we don't live, first off, I think the most important thing that we should say is we don't live near the parks at all.
No, not at all.
No.
We live literally in the middle of the two, probably.
We are midway between.
We're about a 2-hour plane flight from L.A. and about a 3-hour plane flight from Orlando. So, about halfway.
We're pretty much smack dab in the middle right there.
Yeah, our closest theme park is Elitch Gardens, which is...
I don't even think you could qualify that as a theme park.
It's more of an amusement.
Yeah.
And amusement is kind of a stretch even. I kid. No.
Yeah, I have some good memories at that park.
I know. I don't mind you. And they have some good roller coasters, and they've got a great water park, but we definitely, our passion is probably the Disney parks, and I think expanding it even into the Universal parks is...
I know personally, my passion's starting to dip over to Universal a bit.
Absolutely.
Which is really good. I mean...
It speaks to what Universal's done over the last...
10 years.
10 years,
something like that.
Since the first Harry Potter.
I actually saw that Universal's Islands of Adventure was named the #1 theme park in the world by, I think it was USA Today.
Wow.
For the second or third year in a row.
Although, full disclosure, I think USA Today is probably owned by Universal.
Is it owned by Comcast?
Yeah, because I think NBC and USA Today have a partnership, and NBC's owned by Universal, which is owned by Comcast. So, a little
bias there.
A little bias there, but
I mean, it's true. It's still impressive, and I don't know. I think I would agree with them, just based off of what they've done in that park over the past few years, and how much better it's gotten.
True.
How it's evolved, and how much money and time and effort they've put into that thing.
That is the incredible part. It's probably the money aspect that over the last how many years? 10 years, yeah.
Yeah, since they opened it, basically.
Well, so a little history on me. I'm RJ here, by the way. I had to text my mom and ask her when the first time I visited a Disney park, because I couldn't remember. And she couldn't remember either. But then she remembered, literally after I stopped talking to her, then she texted me back or called me and was like, wait, you went to Disney World when you were 3.
Okay.
So I've been going to Disney World since I was 3. At that time, it was only 2 parks. It was only Epcot and Magic Kingdom. I have no memory of this, of course, because I was 3.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Been to Disneyland a ton of times. Been to Disney World several times. Not as many. I think Disneyland is a little closer for us in reality.
It's a little cheaper.
A little cheaper. It's a drive. It'd be
You could do it in a day.
You can do a drive to L.A. You can't really do a drive to Orlando from here.
I've done several summertime drives over to L.A. in a day with some friends. Actually, I think I might be going on one in August now.
Ugh, that's going to be hot. Driving through the desert.
Yeah. Whatever. Got good AC.
So, over the last couple of years, though, I think Disney's definitely changed now that I have kids.
Oh, yeah?
Or at least a kid, because we've taken Trey now. We took him to Disney World when he was 8 months old.
Yeah.
Which was a whole experience. And then, because at 8 months old, he wasn't even walking. He wasn't even crawling yet, I don't think. So it's like, really it's a baby, but he was entertained.
Hey, there you go.
Then we took him again at 14 months, but we took him to Disneyland. And by then he wasn't walking yet, but he was up and moving and, crawling and
doing stuff.
And he was a lot more entertained by one of my favorite memories. I don't know if it's probably my top memory, but we'll get there. But was walking into kind of that Main Street USA. What do you call that? The circle right when you walk in.
The Esplanade. I don't know if it's an Esplanade. No, it's
just the end of Main Street USA where the train station.
What's the word for it? I don't know.
You don't know what I'm talking about, though.
Courtyard?
The courtyard, maybe? Yeah.
So.
Well, in Disneyland, which is always, we'll probably talk about Disneyland versus Disney World at some point here, but they just have the characters out, like literally walking around.
Yeah, right there.
I mean, there's little lines with them, but they're just there.
I think just about every time I walk in, I see Goofy.
Yeah, the Fab Four is hanging out.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, what's up, guys? So that was kind of fun. So by 14 months, Trey was really entertained by the characters, into the characters. 8 months, he was a little more nervous.
Yeah.
We had made a fast pass for, we were there right when they rolled out Magic Band. So we had made a fast pass for the character spot in Epcot.
Yeah.
And he was a little nervous. I have some pretty funny video of him like, whoa. But then as soon as we walked away, he was excited again. It was that distance thing. Like,
oh, yeah.
it's a little too close to Mickey or a little too close to Minnie. But once we were distance, it was better.
It worked out.
So we've been going to the Disney parks. We go about once a year to one of them or both. Last couple of years, it's been both. This year, probably not. But next year, I'm planning on a big trip to Disney World, I think so.
Oh, yeah?
I think so. Yeah, 2017, probably in the fall again. Okay. Free dining, of course.
Yeah. I mean, why not?
Probably going for about 10 days, I think. Or at least.
Really?
Yeah. Or more, maybe.
See, I always have a hard time convincing my family to go out for that long.
It is a long time. We'll probably have to plan some break days in there of like, okay, this is a day at the pool.
This is a day at the Polynesian.
Chill out or whatever else. Or go walk around Disney Springs and see all that now. And
yeah.
So we'll see what actually comes of that. But
hey, sounds like a fun time.
Yeah.
So my name's Court, and my history with the Disney parks is a little bit. It's very similar to yours, but it's a little different. I've been going to. Oh man, I think the first time I went to Disneyland, I was like 2.
Okay, probably
yeah. And then I went to Disney World not too long after that. I don't really remember a whole lot. I remember riding buses a lot.
That is an activity that happens at Disney World, yeah.
Yeah. I think we went in, I don't know, I must have been like 6 or 7, something like that. And then my first real big memory, well, I mean, I have, and then like we would go to Disneyland pretty frequently after that.
Yeah.
Like once a year or something. Actually went with my grandparents one year that I remember riding Big Thunder Mountain, and my grandma was sitting behind me, and I remember I kept turning around because she was wearing one of those old school visors, the big plastic ones.
Yeah.
I kept turning around to make sure it didn't fly off her head. Freaking out over grandma's visor. First memory at Disneyland.
Nice.
I have no idea when that was. But then I remember going to Disney World. It was right when Expedition Everest first opened up. So what was that, like 2006?
Something like that,
2007, somewhere around there. And we rode Expedition Everest, and that was when I really fell in love with, well, one, Animal Kingdom, because let's be honest, that ride makes that park.
It's true
right now.
It's true. Yeah, I think they're improving it, but definitely.
Oh, they're definitely
up to this
park.
point. That's kind of the only big thing.
But that's when I really fell in love with the technology behind theme parks. Because that was the first time that I was really exposed to, well, one, a backwards roller coaster, or a roller coaster going backwards.
True.
Well, right in the middle of it, going backwards and then reversing back and going forwards. Fantastic projections, incredible audio on that ride, and back when the Yeti was working, a superb audio animatronic.
True.
Which that's really when I started to fall in love with the technology behind theme parks. And I think that's when I first started to really like going to theme parks just to look at things. And then when I really fell in love with Disney parks, I think was my 16th birthday when you and I went.
Nice.
And that was, I don't know what it was about it, but it was just like really fun. I mean, it was a chill time. We didn't really have an agenda the whole time, and I mean, that's when I really started to be like, wow. Out of all the parks I've been to and all of the theme parks and all over, I've been to theme parks all over the country. I've been to several Six Flags all over the place.
True.
California, here in Colorado back when they were owned by it, and up in New Jersey over at Great Adventure.
Yeah. Have you been to Cedar Point?
No, I haven't. I'm planning on going sometime.
It's one of those on the list. Yeah,
that's definitely up there. But then when we went, that's when I was really like, oh wow, nobody immerses you quite like Disney does.
No, it's so true.
Oh man, it's really cool. So that's when I really fell in love with the immersion factor of Disney parks, and that's what made me fall in love with Disney parks to begin with.
Absolutely.
So the Disney has been my go-to ever since. I actually went to school out there for my freshman year of college, pretty much just to go to Disneyland. as many times as possible.
Make friends with all the cast members that are at school.
It's succeeded. I've made several friends who are cast members. I get to go visit them, and they definitely know their way around a Disney park, and they can definitely hook you up with some pretty awesome stuff.
They do get some pretty good exclusives.
They get ridiculous stuff. It's things you wouldn't even think of.
Oh,
they can get you with, which I'm sure we'll do an episode on sometime. And
we should get a cast member on here and give us all the inside tips.
Yeah, definitely. So then I went out there, and I think I went. I counted how many times I went in one semester, and it was 43 times in one semester, which is about 3 times a week. And I mean, I loved it. It's what I would do after dinner on Friday nights and Saturday nights and Sunday nights. And I just go to Disneyland and hang out there, and it was a fun time. It was pretty cool.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, I personally really like the theming of everything and how in depth and how immersive it makes you feel in whatever park you're in, if it's Universal or Six Flags or Cedar or Disney. If they want to put you in a spot, they can do it. And I think that's my favorite part of theme parks is just total immersion.
Oh, I agree, and I think like you said, that's what sets Disney at this point a world apart. I think Universal Studios catching.
Oh, Universal's is really catching.
They're getting there. They're getting there really fast, and they're getting there good. But you go to like we've talked about. We make fun of Elitch Gardens here in Denver, and it's like, it's the theming is so weak. There's just no theming at all. I mean, they kind of have like a Main Street USA kind of wannabe in the entrance, and you're like, what is this? And there's nothing in there. There's no shops. It's just.
I mean,
It's just facades, and you're like, okay, that's terrible.
And then there's like one ice cream shop on the left at the very end, right before you hit the Ferris wheel right there.
Yeah, and it's just but it's so true that I think it was about when I was probably about 16. I think I went on a trip to Disneyland, and I can remember thinking like I could just hang out here. Like it's not. I want to ride rides, and I want to do the attractions, and I want to see things, but I could stand here in Main Street USA and listen to the music and like look at the shops.
Yeah.
And just walk around and just be immersed by the environment, and go to Adventureland and you hear the drums and and there's mist, and you're like, oh, I'm in the jungle. Yeah. Like I'm in the jungle. I'm there.
Even though it's the smallest land.
It is. It's so tiny in Disneyland. It's so tiny.
It's the most detailed though.
It is. Yeah.
It's fantastic.
But kind of talk about easy theme. You put up some bushes and make a mist machine, and you got it good. But absolutely no. I think it's the immersion that probably makes the Disney parks so unique. And I've been to a lot of other ones, like you said, like Silver Dollar City in Missouri they have some fun theming, but it's very much the same theming. It's kind of this old frontier land,
little Old West, kind of
like Old West, but it's the entire park is that. And you're like, oh, well, cool, but I want more. And
it's cool, but little variation every now and then.
And they have some great rides too. So and like I said in the intro, we're fans of I think all theme parks, all amusement parks, and But I think Disney's kind of the bar. Disney's kind of the high bar, and everybody else is kind of like, all right, where are we on the scale here of 0 to Disney? And like I think we said, Universal's probably about a 9.5, and they're climbing towards that 10 here soon.
They're getting really close.
So
especially with Islands of Adventure over there.
Do you have a top memory or top favorite experience? Or
I think we should build up to that.
You think we should build up to that?
Yeah, I think we should build up to our top one. Because I know I have a few.
I have a few.
Yeah? All right. What's one of your top memories?
One of my top memories. I think giving Trey his first Mickey bar.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. I'd love to find the video of it. He was so excited because it was sweet. It's good ice cream, and he's eating it, but he was shuddering the whole time, going, ugh. And then he'd like lean back in and want more, and then he'd like and then he'd lean out, and then he'd lean back in, and it was like, make up your mind, dude, is this too cold to eat or not? It was like, but it was his first ice cream, so kind of a cool experience on that too, to give your kid their first ice cream and be at a Disney park, and it's a Mickey bar.
Oh, there you
which
go.
I'm a huge Mickey bar fan, so
yeah
I think that was really fun. What about you?
Oh man, I think one of my top ones, it was I had just graduated high school, and my friend took me and our group of friends just out to Disneyland for her like senior trip. Like her parents paid for everything.
Lucky.
Oh, it was beautiful. We got to stay in the Grand Californian. Had a beautiful view over downtown Disney, and it was high enough up that you could look over and you could see over the trees to Disneyland. You could see Space Mountain and the Main Street Station.
Wow.
Just peeking out over the trees. And we woke up early to get into extra magic hours over at California Adventure. And I woke up before everybody else, and my room was right by the balcony. So I walked out over the balcony. I looked down, and there was absolutely nobody in downtown Disney.
Wow.
Which that
Talk
was
about
pretty cool to
unique,
see.
yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool to see. And the sun was just starting to rise over Space Mountain. And so I looked over there, and it was just such a pretty sight that I was dumbfounded. It was beautiful. That's one of my favorite ones of
Nice.
just awestruck and just immersed in beauty right there.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's totally unique too. That's something that not a lot of people have.
No, not a lot of people.
It's
get
a
to
special
experience
room, even. You know what I mean? It's like
that. Yeah.
you got to be staying in that room or whatever to even get that view.
Oh man, I think one of these days though I'm gonna get a theme park view over at the Grand Californian.
That would be cool.
And just look over at Paradise Pier and just
That would be cool.
sit.
Watch World of Color from your room.
Oh man. Actually, they used to have a World of Color viewing deck over there.
Really?
I
Off
don't-
the hotel?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, where they would actually play the music, and you didn't have to buy a park ticket at all to get in there. I don't know if they still do it.
Oh.
Which
That's actually, speaking of, that's probably one of my favorite memories. Is similar.
yeah,
Is going to the Grand or the Contemporary Resort in Disney World, going up to the California
Yeah.
Grill,
yeah,
and getting to
Oh,
watch Wishes from their rooftop deck
Yeah.
with the music
yeah,
after eating like a really, really good dinner and hanging out with my wife and just like having an awesome time, and then walking out in there and watching Wishes, and you get to see the whole park,
Oh, I bet. Yeah,
and that's cool. That's
bet.
really cool.
I bet that's awesome.
It is. It's one of those like kind of must dos. Like
Yeah.
sometime when you know, if you go and you're like, I want to do one big thing or like, you know, one big dinner or whatever, like make
Yeah.
a California Grill. The food's amazing.
Yeah.
And then too, they have that rooftop deck that's exclusive to that.
Are they in the Contemporary, or are they on Bay Lake Towers?
They're
Right there?
on the Contemporary,
Oh, okay.
on the top floor.
Well, I've never been there. So.
No, facing
Okay,
out
there
onto
you
the
go.
Seven Seas Lagoon.
Okay.
So they're on that side, because the other side I think is an event, like an event space where you can rent for. Because there was a wedding
Yeah.
going on one time when we were there.
Oh, really?
Because it's kind of, you know, the Contemporary is kind of two.
Double tiered.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
kinda
basically
this.
two buildings leaning on each other.
Yeah, and so there's kind of two halves of
Yeah.
of it, and so one half is the California Grill. I think the other half is like an event wedding type
Oh, okay.
space. So
Okay.
yeah, and you're gonna walk out to the end, and you're standing over the monorail. You kind of look down. There's the monorail, and then you
Oh, man.
look over, and there's, you know, all of the Magic Kingdom laid out.
Oh, that's sweet.
So it's really cool, and you get to watch
That's
Wishes
awesome.
come up. So
Man.
you got another one?
Yeah, actually. So I went to the most recent 24-hour day at Disneyland, which was in 2016.
No, 15.
15. Yeah,
There
I
was
guess
none.
it was.
There was none
No,
this
there
year,
hasn't been
sadly.
this year yet. Well, they could still announce one.
That's
Fingers
true. They
crossed.
do kind of announce them kind of short in the year.
A little bit. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. But it was Disneyland's 60th kickoff, and over there they had. That was when they opened up Soarin' again, because it was closed for a massive refurb,
Oh,
and
that's
they
right, yeah.
rethemed. It used to be Condor Flats, that whole area into Grizzly Peak Airfield.
Oh, okay.
So it was basically a brand new land opened up right there.
Wow.
And it was the debut of the brand new World of Color, and the debut of the brand new Paint the Night Parade, and I forget what they call it, but the fireworks,
the nightly one at Disneyland.
yeah,
I can't remember the name right
I
now,
can't
but
remember it. But me and my friend went, and it was just us two, and we had the goal of riding everything in Disneyland.
in the 24 hours.
Both parks in the 24 hours.
Wow.
We went. We walked up, and our plan was to go down Main Street USA into Disneyland. We got there. I think the park opened at like 6:30. We got there at like 5:30. We parked at like 5. We got over by the time we got to the tram
And
and
this is
everything.
in the morning.
Yeah, in the morning.
Ugh.
In the morning.
Yeah. Okay.
It was also move out day, so we had everything in my friend's car, and I had
gosh.
I had a 7:30 a.m. flight the next day to get to. It was a fun time. It was great. It was definitely a big memory. We walk up there, and by the time we got to the main entrance of Disneyland, it was probably about 5:45, maybe about 6ish, and everybody wanted to get into Disneyland. So my friend and I, we looked at each other and we're like, let's go to California Adventure. So we walk over to California Adventure, and we're like, let's go to the New Grizzly Airfield. Like, why not? Check that out first. So we went over there, right at that entrance at the end of Buena Vista Street. And we were sitting there for about half an hour watching everybody go through Starbucks to get their coffee. I've never seen a coffee line that long. It was all the way within the...
Like, they didn't think to stop before they got to the park?
I guess not.
Like, I'm going to spend my first hour at the park on my 24 hours.
I think it was well over an hour. It was probably closer to 2 in California Adventure when it was Disneyland's 60th birthday.
Wow.
So, but then my friend and I were like, all right, we'll just hang out here for a little bit. And then, they let us into the park like half an hour early, like they always do at rope drop. And then they did their whole, like, it's Disneyland's 60th birthday. Like, it's our 60th anniversary, diamond celebration. This is the kickoff. They were handing out newspapers over at Buena Vista Street. So me and my friend both grabbed a few of those and still have mine. And then we were sitting there, and they did their whole, like, opening thing. And then we went over, rode Soarin'. And then we walked over, went over, got a World of Color Fast Pass, and then we rode Soarin'. And then we walked over to Paradise Pier, and there was absolutely nobody.
Wow.
And
that's rare for any day, let alone a special day.
Yeah. We're like, okay, I think we can knock out all of Paradise Pier in about an hour.
Wow.
And that's what we did. We rode everything on Paradise Pier at 6 in the morning. Well, it was probably about, it was like 7:30 in the morning. And then we just went over to Disneyland for the rest of for the majority of the day. It took us about 13 hours to finish all of Disneyland. And then we headed back over to California Adventure and finished that out. So the big memory was riding everything at both parks in one day.
Everything?
Everything.
Like Casey Jr. and everything?
Yeah, we rode it all.
Storybook Canal Boats, whatever those things are called?
Yep.
Wow.
Some of those lines were a little long, but
I can imagine, like, Small World's a 2-hour wait any day of the year. So I can only imagine a 24-hour day and
it was
60th anniversary and everything else.
Although we did notice that the lines weren't too much longer than an average peak season line.
Really?
Yeah, because everybody was buying the merchandise.
Oh,
that was exclusive for that day.
For that day, for the 60th and everything.
Which they did have some pretty cool merchandise. I didn't
That's
snag
true.
anything.
I know.
Because they all sold out. But,
yeah.
I mean,
that's pretty awesome.
It was good for our plan.
Yeah. Worked out well for you guys.
Yeah.
If you guys were really into merchandise, you'd be sad, but...
A little bit. But then our priorities would have shifted a bit.
Yeah. You'd have been like, we need to hit every gift shop in 24 hours, not every ride.
Oh, man. Do you have another one?
Yeah, I think I do. I would say it was really fun taking a friend who'd never been before.
Yeah. That was actually my next one.
Yeah, so this was for a friend's 21st birthday. We flew out, and it was me, another friend, and then the friend that was turning 21 and had never been to a Disney park before.
Yeah.
We went to California Adventure the first day, and just to see how excited he was.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we're talking about grown man, 21-year-old man at this point. And he was like, this is the best thing ever. And I was like, yep.
Yeah.
I know.
I've known this for quite some time.
I've been telling you, dude.
You just don't listen.
Yeah, no, that was really incredible and really exciting and really, really fun to do. And
yeah. I mean, it's basically the same thing. When you and I went out, that was the first time you went to California Adventure, right?
True, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was pretty fun because, I mean, you wanted to do everything and you wanted to, like, walk in through everything. And I
didn't care what it was.
Yeah, you just like...
Corn Castle, let's hang out there. What's up with that?
Yeah. Is it as good as the corn dogs in Disneyland? No. But
still good.
Still
Yeah.
good. Still up there. Better than your average corn dog.
That's
in-
true. That
in
was
LA.
really fun
Yeah.
to get to see that for the first time.
Yeah. And I mean, I think when you just take someone to a park for the first time, for their first time, you see it through their eyes as well.
You do, yeah. And that's the same with like back to my
Yeah.
initial memory taking a kid.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh, yeah.
this is all they're enjoying this, and like this is all new to them, and
Yeah.
because like I know how exactly to walk to whatever. You give me a destination, I'll get you there,
Yeah.
and I know the shortcuts or I know the back ways or whatever. But to see someone new, it's like, oh, yeah.
Maybe I should take the long way
Yeah,
around.
this is really fun. Yeah, they're enjoying every minute of this, and you remember that again. Back to what we were talking about, the immersiveness. You remember, oh yeah, I'm really
man.
immersed in this.
Yeah.
Everything about this right now is telling me I'm in whatever.
Yeah.
I'm in Germany with the Matterhorn, or Switzerland with the Matterhorn.
Matterhorn.
I'm in, submarines. I'm whatever. It's all.
Yeah.
It's all totally immersive, and you see that again through fresh eyes, and you're like, "Oh yeah, that's why I love this place."
Yeah. Yeah. It's always a good reminder.
Yeah.
And I mean, when we went with that group of friends on that same trip that I was talking about earlier, I think 3 of the 8 of us, hadn't been to a Disney park before,
Wow.
or had been, but they were like 2, so
Yeah,
I didn't remember
so they don't
anything.
remember
So it's
anything.
basically just not going.
Yeah.
And I remember walking into Disneyland, and like I remember waking up that first morning, or we flew in and then we went to the parks right away. So I remember on the way there, I was super excited, and so were the other people that had been to Disney parks before.
Yeah.
And my other friends were like, what's the big deal? It's just gonna be like Elitch's or just another like city theme park. And I'm like, man, you don't even know. So we walk into Disneyland, and my friend, he turned to me and he's like, "This is it," because it was just like the main street.
You hadn't gone under the
Yeah, we
under
hadn't
the
gone
train
through the
tracks
tunnels
yet.
yet. And he's like, I'm like, well, you gotta wait a bit, dude. Like, you gotta walk through a bit. And he's like, whatever. So we walk under the tunnel, and one of my other friends shouted out to me. He's like, wow, this is like the perfect transition into a new world. And I'm like, I never thought of it that way.
But you're like, oh yeah, that is kind of the point, isn't it?
It does make sense, yeah. That's why they built it this way.
Yeah.
And then about halfway through the day, my friend who was like, no big deal, it's just another theme park, he turned to me and he's like, this is probably the coolest thing I've ever done.
Nice.
I'm like, heck yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Do you have a top memory?
I do, and I think a few people will be disappointed. I think you might be disappointed because it's not as like grand as the other ones. It's just something that really sticks out to me.
Was it pooping in the Rapunzel bathrooms?
Those are beautiful bathrooms.
I know.
I do enjoy that.
A whole Rapunzel area just for a bathroom.
Hey, I mean, if you're gonna do Rapunzel,
Make it a bathroom.
might as well waste it, you know. But no. So I was actually riding Indiana Jones over at Disneyland, which for those of you who have never been, it's the same ride system, and I've heard the same track layout as Dinosaur over at Animal Kingdom, but I don't think it's the same track layout.
But it's definitely the same vehicle.
It's the same ride system.
Same idea, yeah.
Except it's Indiana Jones theme, so it's a billion times better.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
Indiana Jones.
We could talk about dinosaurs sometime. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's a good attraction. I'm
It is,
not
yeah,
bad
it's not
for
bad, but
I mean, if you like sitting in the dark for 5 minutes. But we were riding Indiana Jones one day, and it was just me and my friend, and we went, and there's a scene where a boulder comes rolling at you, and it's like the big, I think it's the big finale scene where a boulder comes running back at you, and you actually stop, even though you don't stop, you just travel inches at a time. You never stop in that ride, because if the vehicle stops, it's an emergency brake. And so I read that, or I found that out on the manufacturer's website, because I go around and just read through websites for looking up different technologies and theme park stuff. And I read that on the manufacturer's website, and I'm like, okay, but in that boulder scene, it feels like you go backwards. So I'm like, okay, what do they do? So I looked up, and they actually move the walls forward in that ride, and then they just kind of like lurch you back on the hydraulic lift.
What?
Yeah. And so you never go backwards in that ride, even though it feels like you are. And so then you go forward. You're just inching forward, but then the walls move backwards. So it move forward. So it looks like you're going backwards. So me and my friend, we sat in the back, and then I looked back, and the wall moves forward. And I look over there, and I'm like, holy crap. This is amazing. Like,
wow.
This is Imagineering probably. This was Imagineering at its peak, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely.
You know.
To think of that as a solution, like we need the ride. Well, the ride vehicle can't go backwards.
Yeah.
Well, what do we do?
Yeah.
Move the wall forward.
Yeah. So
What?
I mean, it was just the ingenuity and
Wow.
just figuring it out and seeing how it works.
And realizing it's happening, and yeah.
That was my top memory.
Wow.
What was yours?
Mine?
Yeah.
I think. So we took Trey at 14 months to Disneyland, and like I said, he suddenly was more immersed into the characters and into everything. He was more into it. He wasn't scared.
Yeah.
Well, we go back to Toontown, and Goofy's at his house.
Okay.
We get the line. It's not too long.
Yeah.
We end up hanging out with Goofy, and I was amazed. Goofy got down on his level because Trey's crawling at this point, so he's not standing up, and he's down there. Goofy gets down, sits down with him, and they spin it felt like forever.
Oh yeah.
It was probably no more than 2 minutes, but
Yeah.
it felt like forever, and they just hung out.
Oh, that's awesome.
The cast member was taking photos. I was taking video the whole time, and it was like Goofy was interacting with him, letting him honk his nose, doing everything, and it makes you appreciate, again, kind of going back to the immersion thing, it makes you appreciate everything Disney does.
Oh yeah.
Because that character's not behind glass. He's not some cardboard cutout. It's somebody in that suit, and they're there to entertain you and to make that experience unique. And so, to me, that kind of is the pinnacle of all of my Disney experiences of okay, this is why Disney's awesome. Because
That's really cool.
the character's there. He's playing with my son.
Yeah.
I got good pictures of it because I gave the cast member my camera.
Yeah.
Threw it in auto mode, whatever. Got some good ones. I got some video, and Trey's loving it. So
That's awesome.
I think seeing a Disney fan born in that moment too, because he was all about it. Because Goofy is on his level, playing with him.
Yeah.
He's his friend now, So
That's awesome.
that was really cool.
All right. Well, I think it's really cool that we both have very different.
We do, yeah.
favorite
I thought maybe
memories.
we'd have some the first time I tried popcorn,
Yeah,
first time I had a churro,
At the California churro over
Yeah.
downtown Disney.
turkey legs. No, but no, it is unique, and I think this is probably the goal of this podcast. I think we kind of talked about it is
It's to provide quality, fun, informative entertainment about Disney parks and beyond.
And beyond,
really,
yeah.
really.
Absolutely.
And I mean, we're trying to go with a little variation in there too.
Absolutely.
And I think it's perfect that we both have very different favorite memories.
And even different approaches. You talked about a little bit. You kind of go to the engineering side, the Imagineering side of the attractions.
Yeah.
I'm all about just experiencing it, and maybe I'm about videoing it or photographing it or seeing how my kids react to it. But
Yeah.
I think those different approaches to the parks are gonna make this podcast different, and to the fact that we live in the middle and we go to both and
Oh, yeah, I
and
think-
have all that too.
I don't think there's many podcasts out there that really talk about both
No.
pretty evenly.
No, and
I mean-
most of them have a skew one way or the other because they live either closer
Right
or
there. Yeah.
go to one more often.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I know it's my personal goal to find some news that includes every park, major theme park.
Absolutely, yeah.
Within those at least those two areas. If
Yeah.
I can find some about Disneyland Paris or Tokyo Disneyland.
Or if somebody comes out with the newest, fastest roller coaster in the world,
Yeah.
we're probably going to talk about it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, they got the world's tallest coaster. Just released a new rendering for investors right now.
Oh,
So if you want to invest in that, just look up. I think they're still calling it the Orlando.
oh yeah, I
It's in
saw,
Orlando.
I
It's
saw that one. Yeah, what did they call it?
Sky Tower.
Sky,
Was
something like that. Yeah.
yeah. Which that looks really cool.
It's interesting to me though to build a standalone attraction
I
in
mean-
Orlando. But
I mean,
if you're already there, you're in Orlando. You're that
Yeah.
crowd. So
It is the theme park capital of the world right
Yeah.
there. They got they have Disney World is right near there.
Yeah.
Universal is in Orlando.
SeaWorld
SeaWorld is in Orlando. And you have Busch Gardens in Tampa, about
2 hours or an hour to the
west, south. I don't know, Florida.
I just know I fly to MCO. That is the airport code for Orlando.
That is all you need.
That's all you need to know when you book your flights.
DIA to MCO.
That's right. Well, do you have anything else to talk about this week?
No, I think that just about does it.
All right.
I'm really excited to bring some high quality entertainment.
Absolutely.
Some high quality news. I'm gonna try to find some variation in news a bit. Like with the Wreck-It Ralph today.
Yeah, I had not heard that. That's really interesting and exciting too. I love that movie, and
I'm stoked.
I'll be excited for when they eventually put that in the parks too. We haven't really seen a Wreck-It Ralph.
I mean, there's been a meet and greet, but beyond that,
they do meet and greets for almost every. They did a meet and greet for Big Hero 6 and everything else too. So
which that's still pretty popular.
That is true. I'd be interested to see that.
Baymax is a really cool costume that they have going on. Right
I know.
It's sweet.
I've always thought that'd be an easy one to cosplay too. Get a big white trash bag and I'm Baymax.
There you go.
All right, well that about wraps it up.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, yeah.
Well, thank you guys for listening to the Unmistakably Magic Podcast. Make sure to check out our social media. On Twitter, we're Unmistakably Mag, because apparently you can't. There's a limit on the length of your name, apparently.
Twitter likes to limit you.
Yeah. Unmistakably Magic on Instagram, Facebook.com/Unmistakably Magic.
Yep.
And if you want to email us, let us know if you have show ideas or questions or anything else. We'll be happy to answer those emails, and we'll probably answer them on the show.
Yeah.
Unmistakablymagic@gmail.com.
Yeah. We could add a little email segment to the show.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Mailbag.
Yeah.
Big, huge shout out to our friend Dylan over at Blast Off Branding for making our awesome logo featuring Push.
He does all sorts of really cool things.
He really does. Yeah, he's super talented.
Oh, he's got it down. He can figure it out. If you want it, he can do it.
Yeah,
it's pretty sweet.
And make sure to check out our friends over at the Unmistakably Star Wars podcast.
Pretty sure if you're listening to this podcast,
you're probably a Star Wars fan.
You're probably a Star Wars fan.
Let's be honest.
I mean, Star Tours is probably the best. What's the word? The simulator ride.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, that totally. Yeah. Well, that wraps up episode number 1. Thanks for listening. Have a great week. See you later.